5:34, it's the world-famous KROQ, 106.7 KROQ. Well, my good friend Kevin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Found out the scam of the century today.
Oh, yeah?
The scam of the century. How long I've been sending Mark out with $5 for this little meal that you see in front of me? This morning, I'm too hungry. I say, I'm not waiting for Mark to go out for food. I'm going to go by and get it myself.
Right.
This is the Del Taco. This is the double cheese and fries. I've been giving him $5 for how long? About 18 months. $3.44. That's how much it costs.
I'm telling you, there's a special before 6 a.m. When 6 a.m. comes in, normal price again.
$3,
before 6 a.m., you get the special.
Here's what happens. We, for the longest time, have been sending Mark out during the show. We all get hungry. We send Mark out for food. He goes out for usually fast food.
Which we appreciate. It's nice of him and all.
And, of course, we don't ever have exact change. And, of course, it always takes however much we give him.
Yeah, exactly.
If we give him a 20, there is no change. And
It's
that's not a
$20,
joke.
yeah.
There's a lot of times.
So let's figure this. If we count up the amount of days in the last year and a half times his profit, which is $1.50 a day,
At least.
he owes me several $1,000s.
At least, that's right.
It's paying for my vacation to Hawaii next month.
It doesn't surprise me. You've been ripping me off, man. You know what it's like? It's like your brother stabs you in the back. That's what it's like. So anyway, there's the scam of the century. It's 25 till 6. I'm a little tired. Kevin, I did Loveline last night.
Did you really?
I'm telling you, there's no greater thrill than doing Loveline.
I didn't even know that.
It's an experience. Well,
Where was I?
The boy wonder called me over the weekend and said, poor man was at Dr. Drew's wedding, so he asked if I would do it with Lewis.
How about that?
And I'm telling you, we had the strangest time last night. The
Why?
strangest time. Well, it's a whole different type of radio Sunday nights with the fine Loveline audience. I don't know whether to tell you about the guy and his dog or to tell you about the woman who called. Well, I don't even want to get into that story.
Here's my favorite comment from Bean. If the FCC's listening, I'm not part of the show normally. I'm just a special guest.
Yeah, I don't do this show very often if you happen to be out there. I'm telling you, though, Loveline is quite an experience, and I found out last night why it's so far and away the #1 radio program in Southern California on Sundays, because that show is a blast. I'm tired, but it was worth it. I'll tell you off the air. That story is too good. I'll tell you off the air.
All right, it's 5:36. We'll be back.
Daihatsu Rocky from Japan, man.
Kevin and Bean on 106.7 KROQ.
If I had my time again.
106.7 KROQ. It's KROQ.
Personal fave there, young Kev?
Yeah.
Personal fave, love it.
Kevin and Bean at 5:47. Weather-wise,
If you
pretty much
woke
the same.
up and you turn on your radio and that song was on, would you shoot yourself in the head? Is that the song you couldn't get out of bed to?
There are some songs that the group may be okay, and they may do some other good songs.
And you might even enjoy that song if you were cruising down the 10 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, too.
That's true.
A little tough for right now, though. Anyway, I interrupted. The weather, the same as it has been?
Yep.
Pretty much?
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. That's right. Well, 5 years ago, this guy, Bob Hafley, Doc, you weren't going to do this story about the man who built the life-size Jesus out of toothpicks? No. Okay, good. I was afraid you were leading with it, and I was going to, blow the whole...
I'd heard of it before, though.
Bob Hafley says that God spoke to him and told him to build a life-size figure of Jesus using toothpicks, rather. He was in...
Can we call? Where is he?
Strangely, he's in San Dimas. God told me to do it. That's here in Los Angeles. Gee, I can't do that. God told him to do it, and he says, I can't do that. You're asking me to undertake a task that will take 10 years. But how do you argue with the Lord? Frankly, how do you do it? The Lord comes to you and asks you. Some guys you just do a favor for, right? Equipped with tweezers, glue, and boxes of sandwich, flat, square, and round toothpicks, he began last week after 2,500 hours and 65,000 toothpicks. Mr. Hafley of Covina finished The Gift. That's the name that the Lord told him to call it. The Gift.
And what did he do with it?
It's hanging in his garage.
Come on.
It's hanging in his garage.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is.
We have to get a hold of that man.
And here's the name of his neighbor, too, who lives next door, says he's seen his neighbor at work. He was still amazed when he saw the final product. Apparently, it looks real. From a distance, the face looks like it's going to say something to you. The hands and head are neat. All it needs is skin. There's a photo, too, Kevin, so I guess you know it must be true.
Oh, I believe it's true. I want to talk to this man.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't look like it wants to talk to me.
No, the picture doesn't make the Lord look like he's ready to open up and sing. But, you hear stories from time to time of people that have these visions, and, it's like the old, if you build it, he will come. I mean, you follow voices in your head pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's what this guy did.
I want to know what the voice sounded like in his head.
Like, what kind of voice does the guy have?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Because if you ask me...
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's down in San Dimas. We'll have Marie check on it. Doc, you promised you weren't going to do that one, right?
I promise.
Okay,
He's now scratching it off his notes.
we'll check.
Damn, Bean took the Jesus story.
We'll take a look at what else Doc has and come right back. It's 11 till 6.
at the traffic light. 5:54 on KROQ. Good morning, everybody. LAPD back in the news. City Council member John Ferraro claims, and Joy Pikus, his colleague, confirms that there'll be a letter sometime this week from Chief Daryl Gates outlining his retirement plans, which include, apparently, an attempt to ride out a charter election and control his successor, having him appointed from within the LAPD. A lot of people wonder if that's the best way. Steve Adler, ex-drummer for Guns N' Roses, is suing the band, claiming they got him hooked on heroin, then fired him. Also, Vince Neil of Motley Crue is fed up with Axl and is challenging him to a public boxing match. I'd pay to see that. Meanwhile, in L.A. today, look for highs in the 70s and low 80s again. I'm Doc on the Rock.
Have we mentioned that's a fine album?
Many times.
Have we brought that up yet? Because I wanted to make sure and check
But
it
it
out
is.
on my
Yes, it
list.
is.
Okay. Mark brought in one of these balloon dogs.
These little balloon animals.
You brought it for me?
That's your flower of the day.
Thank you. This was a gift from Blimpo on Friday. Oh, the dog. Look at that.
Mark
Oh,
stayed.
very nice.
Mark stayed home on Friday, and we sent Blimpo the clown over to his house to cheer him up because he was a little down, a little depressed.
Did that improve your attitude, young man? Because you're smiling today. We noticed that. Hey, it's KROQ FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles, the world-famous KROQ. And I guess the question to ask would be, how's it hang in death?
You saw that movie? You saw the Bill and Ted's movie there, Mark?
I like Bill and Ted. Most triumphant movie.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm having trouble getting worked up over those boys.
You know what it is? Very few people can pull off those lines.
Yeah.
Those two guys can.
Yeah.
He can't.
That's true.
And
Mark
neither can most of the people who try it.
That's
so.
true, too, yeah. That's the Mel Gibson one?
Yes, that's the Mel
Bill
Gibson
and Ted,
one.
That's what I thought. Here's the book that a lot of Hollywood will be looking forward to, Poison Pen, the unauthorized biography of Kitty Kelly. It's about time she got hers, huh?
Oh.
Apparently, this author just tears her techniques apart. She, of course, wrote the Nancy Reagan book and the Frank Sinatra book and some other ones. And there's always been a lot of controversy about her research techniques. And this guy just dismantles her and has a few juicy chapters about her love life so she can find out what that's like to have that splattered all over the TV.
Wow.
So we're happy to see that, I guess. What else you got?
Much of the nation continues to bake. The rest of the country is
Steaming.
like 150 degrees.
Yeah. I heard it's so funny. You know, we have vacation coming up next month. And I was talking to a friend in New York City. I said, I'm thinking of coming to New York. And she's like, don't come to New York in August. It's miserable. It's like 100 degrees now.
There were 2 days in a row over 100 this past week.
And New York, by the way, a city that smells really bad when it gets that hot. So really, that's pretty good advice.
The last time it was this hot in New York City was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to go there necessarily.
A lot of cities set an all-time record for July 21st for yesterday.
And a lot of them are over 100 degrees. And it's so weird that it's going to be in the 80s today.
Yeah.
It might reach 90
That's
some
true.
places.
Should I go ahead and follow up on this article? In spite of himself, Ted 9 had a good time.
There are some articles.
you got to pass.
We read a lot of newspapers, and there are some articles that you come to and you just keep right on moving. You just skate right on by.
You got to ask yourself, what can that article be about? What can it possibly be about? Oh, I had a funny item. You know, President Bush is still on the road. He's doing a big 9-day tour of Europe. And I guess he has a few days off, but he's going to be heading to the Soviet Union next week. This is pretty funny. Queen Elizabeth's dinner, so this is a few days ago now. This was when the economic talks were still in London. A foreign minister's wife walks up to the president and says, "Oh, Jeffrey, it's nice to see you." He says, "My name's not Jeffrey, I'm George Bush. I'm the president of the United States." She says, "Well, you look a lot like Jeffrey." And she drifts away.
That's it?
We don't know who Jeffrey is.
What's the frequency?
Or
Kenneth?
what's the connection there? But it's just there's some people you ought to recognize, even if you've never met before.
Remember when George Bush had to take out his billfold and show him his driver's license to show that third grader
That's
that
right.
he was really George Bush?
All right, Jeffrey. So apparently the Nicholas Brady, the Treasury Secretary, and James Baker, the Secretary of State, all day long started calling him Jeffrey, just to kind of tease him.
That is funny. Sylvester Stallone won money and an apology from one of the Britton tabloids who said that he skipped out on the war. He evaded military service.
Yeah.
He said he tried but got thrown out because of a bad ear.
A bad ear?
Bad ear. That's why he couldn't make it into the military. Danny Bonaducci is in court again. He has a plea agreement that cuts the possible time that he'll face in jail. And Demi Moore had her baby.
That's right. She got that Vanity Fair out just in time, huh?
Yeah, that was a lot of controversy over
Sure
that
was.
thing. A picture of her pretty much naked on the front cover. She's 28. You know, they say that the child's name was not immediately disclosed. And Lisa, tell me if you don't think this is mean. Their first child's name is Rumor. Yeah.
Is it Rumor? Because I was thinking it was pronounced Rummer, but it's Rumor.
I think it's Rumor.
Okay.
And I can't imagine I have friends like that. I have a couple of friends, they're married, and they went to high school with me, and they named their kids. I wish I could remember any of them, but they're the worst names.
The name's going to be pretty hideous.
Rumor is a weird but I heard this morning that she did come up with a name.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Scout.
Oh, come on. That's a joke.
Does that prove your theory? No, I did. I heard that.
They're not going to name their baby Scout.
Well, who would name their baby Rumor?
Yeah, but they're not going to name their baby Scout.
How do you know?
Scout is a German Shepherd,
What if
Lisa.
I'm right?
Maria,
What if I'm right?
Get open the door.
Get on the phone, Maria.
Maria.
Scout is a German Shepherd's name, isn't it?
Here, boy.
Hey, Maria.
I think it's funny.
She may be on the phone.
I think we should see a picture of Demi now after the baby so women can feel good about that, too.
Did Demi Moore name her baby? Did you hear?
I didn't hear a name.
Lisa heard that the name is Scout.
I heard that.
We need to get a hold of him.
Will you check into somebody? Check into one of your high-powered friends and see what the kid's name is. Scout. Ordinarily,
Check
we wouldn't.
my source.
Good choice.
Ordinarily, where did you hear that? By the way, can you tell us?
No, I can't tell you.
That? Okay.
She's making it up.
I'm
of course, how do you
not.
make up Scout?
Yeah, that's true. Well, Lisa, how was your weekend?
It was nice. I went to a big picnic, did a little work.
Little
it was
picnic,
nice.
little work.
I had to work.
Everybody saw movies. Mark unfortunately saw Bill and Ted. Did you see anything?
No.
I finally rented Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and I had seen it in the theater and thought that it was a really good movie, and I rented it, and it was really dull.
No,
It's
really?
a great film.
I thought it was
That's
great
awesome.
too.
I
You
thought
must
it was
not have
dull.
been in the mood.
I must not have been. I thought it was
Bean
dull.
cannot be in the mood more than any man on the face of the planet.
It didn't hit me right. I don't know what the deal was.
Because I thought it was really good.
And Kevin saw Rocketeer finally, and
At the El Capitan. It was
The big
pretty good.
review?
It was pretty good.
Jennifer Connelly's
Connelly.
cleavage.
Jennifer
Babe.
Connelly. We need to get her on the show. Maria?
You agree with us.
Call all three of them.
6:13. So it was pretty good. The El Capitan Theater was pretty cool.
Jennifer Connelly's cleavage.
Yes.
Maria. All right.
Oh no, just pretty good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a 7.5. It was
Okay.
old-fashioned movie making.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Lisa, let's take it away.
Okay.
Scout.
You see. You wait and see. We'll check my sources. Westbound 91 freeway past Norwalk Boulevard, non-injury crash with two cars. That's working now along the right shoulder.
Nobody is listening to Kevin and Bean on 106.7 KROQ.
Right on 106.7 KROQ. It's KROQ.
The clash right before that, we were talking earlier in the hour about Bruce Willis and Demi Moore had this kid, and I guess we have some help on the line about it.
Yeah, although the man's name is Harlan. Is that right, Harlan? I don't know that your name is much better, pal.
Your name is Harlan.
Hey, it's a popular name.
Now you're
Science
calling
fiction
up-
Ryder,
Oh,
Colonel
Harlan
Sanders.
Howard, I'm familiar with. Sure. Now, you're calling about the Bruce Willis Demi Moore child, apparently born over the weekend.
Right.
The name we hear now is Scout LaRue, is what they named the baby, which we think is unfortunate, but you're saying there is a story behind it.
Yeah. On Entertainment Tonight, they were saying they were naming the baby after the character from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Seriously.
Yeah. So call up your friends at E.T. and they'll confirm it.
But, I mean, there are a lot of movies. I mean, they didn't name the kid Godzilla. You know, I mean, just because there's a good movie doesn't mean you necessarily have to go to that extent.
And then people call up and they say, yes, but it's creative. It's not Mark or Kevin or Bean. And we say, well, that's true, but it's not. What'd you say? Fungus. I mean, there's creative. There's creative, and then there's something that's going to ruin the child.
But don't you think it'll be tough going through life known as Scout?
True, especially being a girl.
And especially having a brother named Rumor. You know, I swear it's like Frank Zappa's naming their kids.
Yeah.
You know, because he's the guy. Seriously, you have to sit down with and go, let me get this straight. Dweezil, Moon Unit. You know, you got to draw the line somewhere.
I just see plenty of other opportunities and outlets to be creative. You don't want to ruin your kid just because you think for 5 minutes that that's a funny name.
That's a cute name, right? I'm telling you that there's going to come a time in that young lady's life where she will beg to be named like Donna. You know,
true.
Seriously, like Samantha, Jennifer, anything. So, all right. Hey, listen, Harlan. Thanks for the call.
No problem.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Of course, Bean isn't necessarily anything to be proud of either.
Our pal Jay Johnston apparently on the road in the heat wave. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're fine now. You're in Kansas City
I'm in
today?
Kansas City. It's 103.
We have the world's only traveling sportscaster. That's the honest truth. The guy calls from a different city every day. Now, how many shows can claim that?
Last week, New York City, Chicago, Cincinnati. This week, Kansas City so far.
I'm working on it. I'm going across America, guys. I'm giving you coverage everywhere.
You got trouble at home, don't you? You have a problem at home with your wife and family.
Seriously, a lot of fighting, and you're like, all right, fine, I'm going to Kansas City.
I'm going to Kansas City.
I'm the official food taster for the world. You know?
That's a threat a lot of people don't make good on, but darn it, you're in Kansas City. Well, very little sports going on, but let's go ahead and hit it.
Well, yesterday, if you're a golfer, you had a chance to watch the Aussie 30-year-old Ian Baker Finch.
Kevin and Bean. That is for breakfast.